Turns out Mario is not only good at breaking boxes, he's also pretty fantastic at shattering box office records. Critics and audiences seem to be extremely split on whether this is a good movie or not, with critics hating it and with audiences loving it. So what the hell is going on? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen and others, welcome to my channel and my first public video. I agonized for years about creating this channel, but seeing that I seem to have an opinion about just about everything, I figured, why the hell not? I suppose there's no turning back now.
Nervous?
Yes.
First time.
No, I've been nervous lots of times.
There's a saying that goes, those that can, do. Those that can't, teach. And those that can't even teach become critics. So this is me sharing my thoughts, opinions, and hot takes on the Super Mario Brothers movie.
With all due respect, sir, you're beginning to bore the hell out of me.
I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, and honestly, I don't get what all the fighting is about. Casting was obviously an issue, as Mario is canonically and comically Italian.
It's me, Mario!
But for those who had an issue with the choice of actor, I'd argue that it's a slippery slope. Next thing, people will be insisting that Professor X can only be portrayed by somebody who is paraplegic, genetically bald, middle-aged, and male, and also has psychic powers. As for the complaint that the Super Mario Brothers movie is taking a steaming dump on the source material, that's what adaptation is. Just because it's cool in a game doesn't mean it works one for one in another medium. No one wants to see a soulless remake of the games where the plot is interrupted every 5 minutes to do a nudge-nudge, wink-wink reminder of the games.
Mamma mia!
Or worse yet, treat it like an hour-long advert selling the different game versions where every scene is just a bunch of game levels strung together as an excuse for a plot. No. In actual fact, I was happy with him subverting expectations and casting Bob Hoskins as Mario and making Bowser a middle-aged blonde white guy. Hello? Hi. Who's this? 1993? What do you mean you want your joke back? Wait, there's a new Mario movie? What the f—
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
I watched the new Super Mario Brothers movie, and honestly, I don't get what all the fighting is about. The casting was obviously an issue, but Chris Pratt is hardly noticeable, and they do address the accent issue right up front. It would have been pretty grating to put up with that accent throughout the movie. In actual fact, it probably would have been very distracting. Without spoiling anything, I'll outline the plot because it's as straightforward and vanilla as anything else put out by Illumination. Mario and Luigi are plumbers living in modern-day Brooklyn, and while attempting to fix a leak, they get sucked into another dimension. All in a day's work, I suppose. Mario and Luigi get split up on the way, setting up the main plot element of Mario needing to rescue Luigi. Because the plot needs it, Mario teams up with Princess Peach and Donkey Kong to save the kingdom and to rescue Luigi. It is a kids' movie, so it's probably better that the creators avoided Mario's substance abuse issues. The original games are, after all, about a plumber who ingests some magic mushrooms and hallucinates saving a princess while committing a total genocide.
Mamma mia!
Making Luigi the damsel in distress is also a nice touch, as the movie's overall themes are around brotherly love, so it makes a lot more sense than Mario risking his life for a princess he just met. The setup also works to establish Luigi as somebody who needs to discover himself, or at least what he's willing to fight and die for, which leads to a very satisfying and touching finale in the movie. However, that doesn't mean I'm a fan of the ending, as you don't get to be a hero if you put out a fire that you yourself started. Even though it's a kids' movie, it's also a movie made for modern audiences, so I just knew going in that the creators would subject it to some social commentary.
I have a fifth sense. It's like I have ESPN or something.
Thankfully, they kept it mostly subtle. For instance, Mario and Luigi both still live at home with their parents, despite earning more than double the minimum wage and also having full-time jobs. This is obviously a dig at the cost of living in modern American cities. There's more commentary on Princess Peach, and no, I'm not talking about her being an OP girl boss, yes, queen.
What's she say?
Yeah, fuck.
The writers cleverly combine a bit of backstory about how Peach came from our world and ended up the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, with a viewpoint that pretty young white women are undeservedly idolized and elevated in today's society. Literally, all you have to do is just show up and boom, you're a princess. Jack Black does an excellent job of playing Bowser as an alpha male leading his simp army, which, in all fairness, is how the character is portrayed in the games. This is Jack Black's best work since they used him as a character model for Syndrome in The Incredibles. He's not nearly as grating as he normally is, instead he plays Bowser as a sympathetic and relatable character. In fact, Bowser is definitely a much better villain than what we've seen in 90% of the MCU movies. He'd also be a much better boyfriend than the last guy Peach dated.
You know, I can eat a peach for hours.
As far as Bowser goes, there's only one creative choice I disagree with, and sure, if you're going to cast Jack Black in your movie, you may as well make him sing for his supper. This is a kid's movie though, and I did find myself a bit offended by the inappropriate language in the song he performs. Sure, I get he doesn't like Mario and Luigi and Donkey Kong, but that's still no reason to call them bitches.
Oh, bitches! Bitches!
Please, think of the children. Although, I suppose, in all fairness, one could argue that Mario started it all by calling Bowser gay so many times.
So long, Bowser.
Speaking of which, if you don't like woke messaging, there's one more scene that you might find yourself triggered by, which is the Mario karting scene on the Rainbow Road, signaling that the creators support LGBTQ rights. They do undermine their own message though, because the Rainbow Road eventually gets destroyed, which could be interpreted as a statement that allowing everyone to have human rights will eventually lead to the destruction of society.
I don't like it any more than you may.
I'm sure most of this flew over the heads of the kids in the audience, as the story moves at a breakneck pace from set piece to set piece, barely pausing for plot or character development. Illumination have perfected the recipe of dumb kids' humor here, as well as doing solid work on the animation, textures, lighting and cinematography, especially in any terrain traversal and action scenes where it feels the most like the video games come to life. Special mention should be made of how excellently the character themes and the game music is incorporated into the movie. There are also a million Easter eggs and references throughout that shows the creators really had Nintendo breathing down their neck to avoid another disaster movie as in 1993. Either that, or they really love the Mario games. And I think this is why critics hate this movie, because it was made for fans, not to be a cinematic masterpiece for the ages. If you like the Mario games, you will love this movie. If you don't know the games, then you're probably not going to love this movie at all. If you came here looking for a story that is in-depth and emotionally rewarding, yeah, maybe it is, but that wasn't the aim of what this movie was made for. Ultimately, this movie was made for the fans, and the fans are loving it and spending their money to see it. Who knew that if you took existing media that is beloved by a dedicated fan base, who have a decades-long relationship with the characters, and you actually made an effort to not shit all over the characters and the world by reimagining it as a reskin for your own social agenda, thereby alienating the fan base, and then even further doubling down by calling the fans toxic, racist or bigoted when they rightfully voice their concerns about unnecessary or disrespectful changes. Who knew you could create a movie that literally prints money for you?
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
Kudos to Illumination. If Disney made this movie, Mario would have been non-binary and black, Luigi would be Luisa, and Bowser would get told halfway through that he needed to do better. The Super Mario Bros. Movie won't win any Oscars, score any WoW points, change the cultural zeitgeist, or be part of greatest movies based on video games discussions even 5 years down the line. However, it will rake in billions of dollars at the box office and on streaming, hopefully reminding other studios that loving money and respecting your audience is not mutually exclusive. At least, that's my opinion.
Well, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
If you made it this far, thank you for being here. Please like, share and subscribe. Not only does it feed the gods of the algorithm, it makes me feel less like an old man shouting at the clouds. Comment down below if you agree or disagree, and feel free to try and change my mind, but you probably won't be able to, because then we'd both be wrong.
Please clap.